I too would like to acknowledge that we're meeting on stolen land and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. We're here today to protest the ongoing genocide in Gaza, Australia's ongoing military ties with Israel, the presence of Hanwha-Elbit systems defence manufacturing in our communities, and the fact that we have billions of dollars for Hanwha defence, time and money for secret memorandums of understandings with the Israeli Ministry of Defence, millions of dollars to support the growth of the defence sector in Victoria, including Elbit systems, but no time, no money or political will to address the housing, cost of living or climate crises. No money, time or political will to address the epidemic of violence against women and children. Not enough money for mental health services, not enough money for local pools or libraries, and now from the state government, not enough money for the free early years vaccination programs that are run by councils who the state now expects a co-payment from. Yet more cost shifting from state government to local councils. So my name is Sarah Hathway. I'm a Socialist Alliance endorsed councillor at the City of Greater Geelong Council, where I represent the northern suburbs of Geelong. The ward I represent is home to one of the fastest growing defence manufacturing precincts, both at the Avalon Airport, where Hanwha Defence have their set up, and at the old Ford factory site, where Morand and other businesses are manufacturing for war. My ward also includes some of the most disadvantaged suburbs of Norlane and Corio, impacted by generational poverty, poor health, unemployment, low education. You pick a stat, we're at the low end of it. An area that has historically had a high concentration of public housing, with a lot of this old housing now being sold off. So I've been door knocking Norlane and Corio for the last 2 months, and I've seen firsthand the poor quality housing, both private rental or the ministry housing that's left. I've regularly heard that people can't get maintenance on these properties, that they don't feel safe in their home or in their street. If they're renting privately, they're being priced out of the area, the only affordable area in Geelong, and they don't know where they're going to go. And I hear about the lack of services, the lack of mental health services, the lack of youth services. Last year, Geelong City Council found an $8 million black hole in their budget. And as a result, they proposed that 4 libraries were going to be shut, hours at local pools would be reduced, life-saving services would be cut, and more. And it took a significant community and union campaign to save those services, and we won. Every library stayed open, our pools stayed open. However, at the same time that Geelong Council was crying poor when it comes to local services, it's giving over $600,000 to a weapons expo. Avalon Air Show 2025, put it in your calendars. The City of Greater Geelong will have a trader stall and promote how they're part of the Geelong Defence Alliance and how Geelong is ready for the defence industry. It will emphasise that defence manufacturing is a pillar of Geelong's economic growth. How does Geelong's northern suburbs, being the shining beacon for the defence industry, benefit residents living in Norlane and Corio? It doesn't. $15 million spent on a few hours of the most militaristic, heavy-handed, disproportionate police response yesterday. Do you feel safe? No. Do you think the residents of Norlane and Corio feel safe? No, they ring 000 in desperation, looking for help from police or ambulance, and no one shows up. No one shows up. The police don't come. Our ambulances are all ramped at the hospital. They don't show up. No one turns up for the residents in Norlane and Corio except their neighbours, through their communities, through their schools, through the neighbourhood houses, etc. We need all levels of government to defund war and refund communities. So I want to acknowledge that there's a number of activists here from Geelong today, from IPAN, from Free Palestine Geelong, and we've got a question for every single one of you and your friends and your comrades who aren't here. In March next year, as we have fighter jets flying over Geelong, and Geelong Council is spruiking how defence ready we are at the Avalon Airshow Weapons Expo, will you come down the highway and will you protest it with us? Shut it down! And even better, it's in the Minister of Defence's own backyard. So come down, say hello to Richard Marles, and let's shut it down in March 2025. Thank you.
Shut it down! Thank you. Shut it down! 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 Shut it